this one. We'll see what they go about. Of course, that Zac taken away from Wicked here by Kevin. He's going to fall back onto that Renekton. What can we say about level 1 here, Jason? There's some options available, the likes of the Hook, the gold cards. Leona can always be a bit of a danger as well at level 1.
I think it depends on who catches who out first, because both teams have a lot of CC. Just like you mentioned, Leona, going to be very tanky, but you have that guaranteed stun if you want to go for it, as SK is actually rushing straight into this blue bush here, and they might get caught.
Wow, Snoopy right up in their faces here, and they are going to be getting in on towards Snoopy. A little bit uncoordinated there from SK. You saw 2 men go into middle, 2 men following in. Ocelot was on the top side, and to me that looked as though they didn't expect EG to be there whatsoever, and they kind of broke up the communication. Didn't look like it was 100% there from SK.
And the thing was, if Krepo was in a different position right there, as you do see the pole actually land on Krepo.
Yeah, and he's going to get charmed up here as well. Is he going to be able to escape this one? Hercubot coming in. There is the first blood, sniped off by Candy Panda's Mystic Shot in the final seconds, and that is the start that SK were looking for with that invade on the top side. They get it thanks to that hook, thanks to a charm coming in. CC chained, and it's a great start.
I was going to say in the beginning that Krepo was actually warding their own red buff, expecting SK to go in through there. They didn't instead. He wasn't there for the first little bit of action that happened, and if he was, I'm curious if they would have been able to take out someone from SK. And then SK walked through a ward without any vision of where EG was, and still they were able to pick up a kill, and on a Candy Panda. So he's going to be in lane, he's going to be in this 2v2 situation, but he also does have cleanse, boots now, and a couple of health pots.
Yeah, did use that flash, as did Hercubot as well, just to make sure that they had that kill on lockdown. As things, I'd imagine they're going to settle down now after that crazy start that we saw. Hercubot going to be kicking things off here with the blue buff for SK Gaming. On the other side, Snoopy going to be doing the blue here on his own as well.
So he knows, Snoopy knows that Kevin has his flash available still, and it's a Zac. He's really hard to gank. So if he's starting blue, he's going to try to gank bottom lane around level 3, it looks like, on the Candy Panda, who doesn't have his available. They obviously have Arcane Shift at 2, but if Krepo does land a nice Zenith Blade, they could get in onto him and actually create the kill. Now Hercubot's side, though, he's actually going towards the top side. They want to go for an early kill onto Wicked or onto Froggen, who right now doesn't have his flash either, and he's very susceptible to a gank.
Going to be wide open to that one. Candy Panda going to be a problem, I think, in these early stages now because of that first blood, because of the fact that he's got the extra mobility of the boots, with that Doran's Blade starting for him as well. Could make things very deadly for EG, and as such, you can see that they're playing this one pretty passively, knowing that they can't afford to give any more kills over onto that AD carry, who right now, Candy Panda can't fault him, doing a fantastic job with the CS. Yellow Peak going to have a free wave headed towards his turret right now, but he's already missed one.
And it's not a great sign, but he'll be able to catch up here, obviously. And it looks like they're actually backing away, trying to get SK to be pushed up and stay pushed up. But on top of also Candy Panda having the kill ahead of them, Snoopy hasn't picked up his red buff yet, which is a little bit interesting. He's going for double golems, then he'll hit up red, it looks like, when his smite is available. I think that's just due to him not having too much help on that blue buff.
Yeah, it had, I think, literally none, actually. It was a little bit strange that they let that go the way that it did. Snoopy is now finally going to get himself onto that red with the help of that smite, which I actually used it at the start of things. We'll be taking that one here. This bottom lane, as we said, a lead breaking out for Candy Panda. What you'd expect, really, at level 1 when you get the assist on the support player to offer in, and that extra gold the boots picked up from Candy Panda in there as well. Right now we've got Hercubot actually waiting around the corner here at middle to see if they can get in onto Froggen, who's playing pretty passively in terms of positioning.
He's playing very smart because he knows if he does get ganked, he's not going to escape that, especially with the red buff Xin Zhao. So he's playing passive. He wants to wait for his flash to be available before he goes super aggressive and Wicked. So far, I mean, he's pretty much keeping equal with Kevin in terms of farm, who he went at Doran's Blade to the reju feed on the Wicked. And I'm curious to see how that lane's actually going to develop. I think in the end, it's just going to be nothing happening. It's just going to be who can outfarm the other.
Yeah, I'd imagine it'll be a bit of a face-bashing lane, to be honest. Not really too much without the help of those junglers getting in. Is Candy Panda going to get initiated onto here at the bottom? They are going to land the hook on towards Krepo. Have they got the damage, though? Leona pretty tanky to deal with in there. And in the end, no kill resulting from that.
That was actually a really fast Arcane Shift out of Candy Panda. I give him credit there. That reaction time was really nice because it kept him away from the stun off of Krepo. And they just turned around, did a good amount of damage to him, but with those health pots, he's going to heal back up. And Yellow Pete, even though he got some good harass, some good damage down, it's all mitigated at this point.
Let's see then in the middle, Snoopy actually coming around for that one. And it looks like we're going to have a slight pause here with this one.
I was looking at Frog and I was wondering if it was him. because he always seems to have problems. But it looks like it's just Wicked. It's having a little bit of lag here, so that hopefully should be fixed very shortly. And having that early kill onto Candy Panda, it's given a little bit of a CS lead, but not as much as you expect. He's at 32-29 right now.
Yeah, Yellow Pete doing a good job, to be honest, of farming up under that turret. You know, I talk about a missed CS here and there, which, you know, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't make that huge of a difference, since these players are going to be up at, you know, 200, 300 CS. Who knows how long an EG game is going to last and how much farm they're actually going to have by the end of it. I guess if form's anything to go by, could be in for a long one here, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because that is really going to test the, you know, the state of these two teams right now. You know, those long games where one mistake can really just lose you or win you, on the other hand, a full game.
You know, I don't know about you, but I've been thinking for quite a while about Evil Geniuses and what they need to do to improve a little bit. And it doesn't seem like late game's really their area anymore. I don't know. I was just thinking that they can't really seem to come back from being down too much anymore. Their team comps usually, you know, team fight oriented. They haven't been that strong in team fights. And I mean, that's definitely where they're comfortable. So if they can get there, they're going to at least have that on their side. But in terms of where they are at that point, in, you know, in gold, in kills, it's going to be another story.
Well, I think if anyone needs to know how EG need to win, it'll be EG first of all. And that's something they don't seem themselves to have really figured out 100% yet in this summer split. But we are going to be getting back underway in this one. It seems like Wicked is in better shape right now. There you can see him on your screen clicking around happily. So here we go then. That's 5 minutes into this game. SK Gaming already got that 1-0 lead, picking up first blood at the early stages. We've got Ocelot, who's started to build a decent lead over here. As Yellow Pete going to get completely caught out of position right now. Is he going to be able to escape this one? Crepo trying to body block, and actually is going to succeed in keeping his teammate alive.
That was a great pink ward coming out of Nip as well, because they knew he was a stealth up, but unfortunately, he was just a little bit too fast, and Crepo was a little bit too tanky, a little bit too wide to block off all that damage. And he does escape, but he's going to have to go back and heal now. And he's going to come back with a Vamp Shifter and boots, so he's going to be able to have a sustain. But in the meantime, SK, they're like, hey, all right, we can go for a free dragon here, because they know where Snoopy's been. They know he's been counter-jungling, and they might be able to pull this one off. Though Snoopy's actually heading around, doesn't have a ward. I wonder if he's going to be able to spot this.
Definitely expect that. He's going to just throw the Spirit Fire in there towards the back. He's going to now wait off in the wings. Froggen, is he going to try and come down from this one? Ocelot actually landing the charm there onto Snoopy, throwing full combo in at him. SK already got the dragon down, and you can see that EG are actually backing off from that one. And that will be another early pickup here on the dragon, just 6 minutes, 10 seconds or so into the game. That is strong, strong stuff here from SK.
Yes, that is very early for them. And Candy Penny's going to back with quite a bit of gold as well. He's going to come with 2 Doran's Blades, it looks like, and a tier. So he's going blue build here. He's actually going for a very early tier. Usually you want to pick up a little bit more damage, but he's going to come back. He's going to have that extra ability to spam away at Yellow Pete, which gives him an extra range advantage, gives him the ability to harass him down while they can't really have too much sustain from a support. And with the Vamp Scepter, is going to help out quite a bit. And Wicked, he's doing pretty good so far. Equal in CS, has a Hex Drinker. Also, he has extra magic resist, has the extra damage, and he's keeping Kevin pushed back a little bit.
And making sure that not too much coming up into this top lane as well. Kevin just buying himself a ward to make sure that Snoopy's not going to make his presence felt on his top lane. And the jungler's been decently active so far. Obviously, Hercubot coming down to force Yellow Pete out of the lane a little bit earlier on, which resulted in them then managing to secure that first dragon of the game. And you can see that if you look at the CS as well, I mean, Yellow Pete, fantastic job considering he's up against that Ezreal who managed to get the first blood.
I guarantee, like, when first blood went over to him, he's like, come on, any lane but mine. But yeah, just like I said, doing a great job of really just keeping equal with him. And you won't be able to trade with them for a little bit here, but I like how you point out both junglers just pretty much just jungling away. Haven't really been too interactive with the lanes. They visited bottom one, or Hercubot's visited bottom once. You know, threw it again, got the flash out of Yellow Pete, then they turn around to Dragon. It seems like more of an objective game for them than more of a kill game.
And we just saw Ocelot leaving to go blue, and I think he realized, okay, Froggen's level 7, I should probably put a ward down there just to make sure that he's actually not going to leave the lane and, you know, get that destiny down somewhere else. And right now, funnily enough, he's headed towards the top side of the map here. We do see that Snoopy is actually doing that red buff at this stage as well, so he's just going to help him make sure that that one is finished off, and that's a nice little steal for EG.
That's really interesting because he's been helping him quite a bit. He's done it at race before. We do see him get engaged upon. The yellow card's going to come out, though. Does a lot. Wow, actually some really good damage on Ocelot. And Snoopy's there to help out if they do commit to this.
Yeah, there's the stun card again. We are going to see the flash in, but he still had a charge left on that ultimate, saving that one final charge for, if he could actually get in there aggressively, or, as it was the case, to get away from that one. SK right now are putting some pressure down onto this bottom lane, but I think they realize they're not going to be able to do too much to it, and they'll back off again.
And Wicked's actually going to have a nice little bit of a lead over Kevin now. He has a giant wave at his turret to farm up. Ocelot with the blue of his ult's not going to be on too long, but cooldown. Snoopy's been farming so much right now. He's actually quite far ahead of Hercubot. He's level 6 to level 5, so he has that advantage. He's trying to hold him back in terms of buffs as they took away the red. And Ocelot even trying to snoop for Snoopy there, but obviously he wasn't at the red anymore. And it's a little bit, I don't know, I'm intrigued because this is a little bit different than what they've been doing for quite a while. It seems like they changed things up.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time in that jungle as well, almost just camping there we saw him.
And usually he camps lanes pretty hard, and it kind of puts him behind the jungle, gets him a little bit under level, a little bit under farm, but with Nasus right now, he's like, you know what, forget ganking, they have a very mobile team, it's really hard to kill any of them, so I'm just going to farm up, get to the point where they can't really tank me, and then we'll just go in for some team fights.
I know, Hercubot actually looking for maybe bit of counter ganking, counter jungling of his own.
Oh, they have a ward there too.
Yeah, they've got that ward there. They're going to spot Snoopy coming around the side from this one, and they are actually going to come in onto him. There's the charm landing as well. Have they got the damage to get through his ultimate? There's the ultimate charms. Ultimate charms pretty much was. It was that good from Ocelot, even though Snoopy wasn't moving. And they managed to get the kill and the red buff. Nicely done.
Yeah, very well done. I heard you about notice that, hey, they're taking my red buff away constantly, so put down a ward there, was able to counter him, and all that work that Snoopy's done so far is pretty much just gone to the win. And now Froggen, typical Froggen style, gonna be farming up race as much as possible, trying to get a CS lead, and he might get caught here, though Ocelot doesn't have his ultimate available.
No ulti available for Ocelot, but they're actually going to chase in right now. He's got no flash, and he's already used Destiny from this one. He's going to put the stun card down on towards Kevin, who he's going to get the slow onto him as well. He's going to bounce in for the knock-up. The charm lands, and Ocelot will pick up a kill of himself. That's a kill for the jungler, the AD carry, and the mid laner right now, with assists on everyone else.
And they just outposition EG right there. I mean, Froggen, he kind of just started running the wrong way, and he's like, well, I'm not going to escape this one. And Ocelot doing a phenomenal job, able to get 1 kill, 2 assists, and we've seen how deadly Ahri can be when they're fed, farmed up, and Ocelot's no different in terms of that champion.
I mean, how worth it is a Wraith camp when you've got no flash, no Destiny, and no vision? I mean,
it's worth the death, apparently.
Apparently so. As we are going to, wow, that was great reactions from Nif, actually, just completely smashing Crepo back as he landed that Zenith Blade. Just saying, basically, nope, you're not coming in for this one. No chance for that. Dragon going to be up in a minute.
I know what you mean, though, about that. Like, what's the point of going for race and put yourself in a position where you can possibly die and give a kill over to Ahri, which is probably the last person you want to have happen. And I don't know, it's typical Froggen style to farm as much as possible, but I know they're trying to hold Hercubot back as much, if anything. But he's right now, because of the kill at red buff, he's level 7, he's equal to Snoopy. His farm is a little bit behind, but now he's 1-0-2, and in terms of gold overall, he's ahead.
Yeah, and he's got those boots of mobility on as well now, which is only going to make his presence stronger. And we talked about the mobility that SK have in the lane there. It's hard to gank a Zaku who's going to jump away. It's hard to gank Ocelot on Ahri, who's just going to use that ultimate to charge away. Then you've got the bottom lane, which, Thresh not the most mobile, but he can still control you enough really to get out of most situations. We've got Spirit Stone in there, decently tanky as well. On the other side, though, it's going to be a lot easier for them to lock up the likes of Froggen when that flashes down, for example. Yellow Pete's got no real natural escape, as does Crepo.
Both teams right now, Joe, are heading down towards Dragon. I was watching this, I was like, we're going to see a major fight break out here really soon. We do have Froggen's ultimate available, so he's going to be able to spot everyone. It's about who's going to pretty much try to go for the Dragon first, who's going to get the better positioning. Wicked, he's going to go straight in and go on to Hercubot.
Yes, actually Ocelot there over at the side. Not quite landing the charm. Kevin's ultimate, Let's Bounce, has literally just come back up here, so they've got good controllers. Crepo's going to get hooked in. The charm lands onto him as well. Here comes Kevin from the side. Let's Bounce straight through the team. Wicked going low. He's actually flashed away, but Snoopy's going to die. That's a double kill for Kevin, and it's 2 kills overall for SK. Will they be able to hold on here for the Dragon? The wild card's coming in. Yellow Pete is actually stealthed up right now, but it's going to be a pretty ballsy decision if he decides to go right into the back of them here. SK still going in. Another hook's going to land onto Froggen and the charm as well. And now Kevin jumping over towards Yellow Pete. He will have to flash away. And that is going to be the Dragon. And all the kills going to to SK. Fantastic play out of them. And I have to say, a bit of a miscalculation from EG there.
3 kills and a dragon. That's a lot of gold, and it's pretty much hook hero, see hero, kill hero every time. And that's what they did twice in a row. Pulled Frog and killed him, pulled Kreppel in the beginning, was able to kill him. Kreppel wasn't even able to ultimate because he was chain CC'd the entire time, and being down 6 kills at this point when you have Asa, who's now 2-0-4, has his DFG done. Having Kevin 2-0-2 has a Sunfire Cape done, is going to be building, I believe, a little bit of damage. Like, EG, they're going to have to hold on for the late game if they want to be able to get back in this.
Right now, DFG is done for Ocelot as well. He's definitely all about bursting that one target down, and his charms have been really good. I mean, they're made kind of easier when the person's hooked at the same time, but you know, that's how they have to lock these kills up here, SK, and they've shown time and time again that they can do that. Nif has been on point with his Thresh so far, and it leaves us with almost a 4,000 gold lead. It's not going to be too far away by the time they get back to the lanes and start pushing these waves out here for SK.
If you look at what's been happening so far, Froggen has yet to gank with his ultimate. I mean, we talk a lot about Twisted Fate. He's very strong early on, and he's very strong late game, but mid game he's going to fall off unless you get a couple of kills or help facilitate something. He hasn't been able to do that yet. Also, it's been able to push the lane quick enough. It's been able to keep him there. He's been able to ward up to see if Froggen is going to go bottom or something like that, and he just hasn't been able to make anything happen, even though he is ahead currently right now at 5 CS.
Yeah, 5 CS up there, which is, credit to him, he was actually behind a little bit earlier on there as well, so he's managed to really bring that one behind, but he's up against a 2-0-4 Ocelot, who, now, if that charm lands onto you, you're a dead man with that DFG in there.
Definitely. And he's going to be pretty much trying everything he can to avoid it. In the meantime, Yellowpete has still a little bit of a CS advantage, but he doesn't have the damage advantage, not anymore. Not over Candypan, who's 1-0-3, has almost a Bloodthirster completed. And you do see Froggen finally going for his first game bottom.
Yeah, they are going to go in on towards Nif here. He's not escaping this one. True Shot Barrage came through. It's Kreppel that picks up the kill there in the end. And honestly, they really could have done with that on either Twitch or Twisted Fate.
Yeah, very true. And in the meantime, Snoopy's going to hold middle. And we just talked about Froggen, not ganking anything. And he's like, okay, guys, I'll finally do it. Yeah. And finally goes bottom. But now he's going to lose his mid turret from this. And Snoopy, who he can't sit there. He's against a level 11 Asa who has DFG, has level 2 ultimate. Like, he cannot defend this. And they're going to lose a mid turret off of that one gank.
Yeah, one gang coming in, losing a middle turret is probably not the exchange they were looking for. They've taken the outer bottom turret, which is certainly something there. But look at this. Right now, SK looking to maybe close in onto Wicked in the top.
He's already backing away. He knows this is coming, and they're going to give up another turret. He's going to try to stick around here, but with no one able to get there, Froggen still bottom, Yellowpete as well, and Stupe holding middle. They're not going to be able to defend this turret, and that'll be a little bit of extra gold income now for SK.
Yeah, this is going to be turret number 2 for them. Right now the lead is sat at 3,000 gold. Hercubot and Kevin going to make pretty short work of that turret overall. And that is a nice pickup for them once again. So SK in a very commanding position at this point. Snoopy and Froggen actually trying to get rid of that outer turret in the middle lane, which is a really great move from EG, all things considered, that it looked like SK were pretty much just walking wherever they pleased to take turrets. EG have literally done the same to them. He had come up from that bottom lane, Wicked joined from the top lane and said, well, you take that top outer turret, we're going to take your middle lane, and then we'll even it up on that front.
Yeah, very smart play by them. That was very well executed, and SK, I don't think they necessarily expected that to happen, as Nif was the only one there to really defend against it. As Yellowpete, he's going to pick up right here. Ocelot's on the side. He doesn't actually know they're there. He's trying to go for a kill on the Froggen, but he's actually going to get caught.
He is going to get caught, but he has got his ultimate up and available. As Kreppel actually gets charmed there over the wall. Not able to escape from that one. Might as well use those charges while they're there as well.
Yeah, get a little faster. And Snoopy, 87 CS. I'm going to take a look at his Q real quick because it's got to be stocked up quite high considering it's actually at plus 168, so he has actually some good damage. But whether or not he has the tankiness to survive to be able to do some damage is really another question when you have, Kevin already pretty much tanky enough that you can't really kill him. And you have Asa, who's just so slippery. You have Candy Panda, who has the sustain out of the Bloodthirster and the Arcane Shift. Only really person you can go after is either, I guess, Hercubot or Nif, unless you can fully catch out someone and chain them down.
Right now, Wicked working his way on towards his outer top turret. And as I say, working his way in, he just kind of looks at minions and thought, can't really do that. Is this going to be a big bait, though? Candy Panda there? Well, if it was supposed to be, Froggen kind of spoiled it with that one, throwing the wild cards out there. And they will, at least for now, seem to head down south, which Candy Panda's not careful, that might catch him out, but SK are doing a similar play of their own here, making sure that all those wards on the top side of the river are clear.
That's a very early Oracle, coming in about 18 minutes, and they already have the kill lead, they have the gold lead, and that's going to give them the map control that they didn't really necessarily need, but it's going to give them so many advantages where Froggen, he's no longer in the laning phase. He doesn't have the opportunity to really make a lot of ganks happen at this point, and it's going to kind of hurt EG a little bit unless they hold on. He's been trying to solo farm bottom a little bit. He's in 145 CS. He's keeping even with his AD carry, but Ocelot, who's been roaming around picking up kills, is still ahead of him. Still ahead on that front.
Not the best of news here for EGs. We see the Destiny actually being picked up, and SK having their positions revealed, and actually Destiny going to be called in here. Froggen going to the top side of the map, and because he's got vision of everyone there, he's like, well, Wicked, let's push this tower, let's take it.
And they could be able to get it, actually. It's already about half health, but in the meantime, SK's like, all right, you're going to go top, we're going to push middle, and they're going to have 4 members here. And Kevin's the only one in the top lane, but honestly, he's taking enough to probably defend against this. And now, SK, they could get this inhibitor, or the middle turret, but they also could die if EG just close in behind them.
Well, they're going to have to tank up the turret. Actually, probably not, because there's minions starting to come in. The turret taking a lot of damage, and that's an inner for an outer turret. That exchange is all SK's favor.
And now where are they going with this? Because Dragon is available, and looks like Kevin trying to go in on Froggen.
This is an interesting move from Kevin as he kind of bounces away, flashes while he goes, and I think realized I've gone a little bit too deep there, and goes himself away. Nifia just going to hook himself over to Dragon, and this is going to be another one for SK.
How are EG going to respond to this? Because they know this is happening. They're trying to close in on SK. Yeah, they're going to back up. They don't want to go head-to-head against Evil Geniuses since Kevin is not there. And EG, this could be very, very good for them. But if they misposition a little bit, if someone gets hooked here, it could mean the downfall.
Well, let's see. Kevin is coming in from the side. Doesn't have Let's Bounce available. We may see the True Shot Barrage come through or not. Dragon finished off there by EG. Great pickup for them at this stage of the game.
And very, very much needed, too.
Yeah.
So we have Froggen picks up an easy low draw, so I'm not sure if he's going to go for his Zonius first or go for his Lich Bane. Usually you go Lich Bane if you want that little bit of an early advantage. They're going to start pushing this turret down a little bit, and honestly, I'm not too confident that they have the damage or the survivability to last if SK did want to engage, so instead they're going to back away and go back to farming up a little bit more. The gold difference actually is surprisingly not that big, considering SK and EG both have 1 Dragon. There's 3 to 3 in turrets, but there's 6 kills to 1. Yeah,
it's 3 to 3 in turrets, but I think that tells a bit of a lie almost, because it's 3 outer turrets for EG. And for SK, they've taken the inner turret in that middle lane as well, which we talk about all the time about how, much of an advantage that can give you in terms of getting wards down on the enemy side of the jungle. So we'll see all about that. We'll see if SK are able to really start to push that kind of thing. And bottom lane, for the fact that that's where the first blood went for SK, that turret is actually still standing.
Who knows for how much longer, though? And one sign about the gold that really gives everyone hope for EG is that it's not widening. It's staying at this constant 2,000-ish for a good 21 minutes now, and they've been able to hold on, and that's a really good sign for EG. If they can start maybe pick up some fights as SK with that Oracle, taking full advantage of that. They're trying to get in position to bait out EG, but instead they're not falling for it this time.
Not falling for it. The wards go down there. From Crepo as well off to the side. I think ward's being used by him. Interesting, as you said, that very early Oracle for Nif. I'm not sure, certainly, that it's paid off at this point. I'm not sure if they've really done what they should do with an Oracle at that stage of the game. That obviously costs you, obviously it costs a Satan later in the game, but I think earlier on, its worth is a lot more.
Yeah, and considering that they didn't get the last Dragon, when they could have, cleared it all out, cleared all the vision, had the positional advantage, obviously because Kevin had to engage topside, he wasn't able to be down there quick enough, and SK going to steal away some jungle here. The Oracle, it's going to wear out relatively soon, and luckily for them, though, they've put out, a decent amount of wards. They've really put a lot of pressure onto EG. Like, look at the mentality that EG is going about this with. They're not feeling comfortable leaving the halfway point of the map, not even about their first turret point of the map, to go into their own jungle and farm away, as SK has complete control of it. So, in the end, I completely agree with you. The Oracle wasn't used fully, but SK is still trying to take advantage of that by just strangling Evil Geniuses in gold.
Yeah, the funny thing is, as I say that, of course, the entire SK team goes down to the bottom side of the map to support Nif while he gets rid of all the vision and puts wards down on of his own. As Kevin here actually stretching over the wall, decides not to go in, but they're going to hook Crepo in once again. He's pretty tanky. Will they have enough damage to finish him off? No question about that one. It's Ezreal that picks up the kill, and here comes Kevin from the side. Let's Bounce goes in. Snoop is a dead man. That's 2 kills for nothing here for SK Gaming. They hardly lost health, and where they did lose it was with their support. They're headed up towards Baron here, maybe.
Are they really going to go for this? This is the typical like
level.
Yeah, this is the typical like quote unquote noob magnet. And right now with Froggen who can harass him from a whiles away, Wicked who has his ultimate flash and ignite available, this could be a giant mistake for SK.
Or they could lure themselves a few more kills, as we are going to see Wicked coming in. And speaking of luring, there is the hook. Wicked going to be going down to this one, but the Baron is doing so much damage to them as well. There's a double kill coming out from Wicked. Here comes Destiny. Froggen is going to get himself a double kill. This is not going to be the Self division coming back together. It's an ace coming out for Evil Geniuses. Baron, worth it or not? The answer, not at all.
Wow, I'm amazed that happened. I mean, it was obvious that it could. Wicked got into the back line. You saw him use his Q and just shred everyone down. Then Baron's like, I'll join the party. I'll help you guys out, EG. You guys are a little bit behind right now. And they're able to stop it. And now they're looking to take Baron. And with looking at the death timers, no one SK is going to be there in time if they have the damage.
This is ridiculous turn of events in this one. Look at the gold as well. EG are now ahead in gold at this point after that. And now they are going to be taking Baron. Here comes the true shot barrage across. Not quite going to be late enough on the call from that one. And Baron is going to be picked up by Evil Geniuses. Crazy turnaround of events. Will SK be able to pick themselves back up after that, though?
The thing is, they threw their entire lead for that Baron. It was very greedy of them to go for it. I like the idea. I like the ballsy play out of it, but they didn't really have the ward control. They didn't really have enough wards down to spot anyone coming in. Wicked just walked in and got them all low, but Evil Geniuses, they got to feel better about it. They're like, thanks, guys. You guys got us back in the game a little bit more. And now items are being completed left and right. Look at Wicked's items. Sunfire Cape, Black Cleaver, Hexdrinker still. He is a monster at this point. And now Snoopy's very tanky. And you can see the Zhonya's Lichbane done. Now Froggen can start split pushing a little bit, get a lot of damage down on the turrets. That swing, that was just ridiculous. That's what Barons can do to you.
Infinity Edge is done as well. Phantom Dancer is well on its way here for Twitch. You see Yellow Pete playing that one, and he's a little bit behind in CS, but I think we can pretty much forgive him for that just due to the hard lane that he had with Candy Panda getting that first blood and what have you. Candy Panda himself, Bloodthirster, and the Muramana now finished. Ocelot working up towards that Rabadon's Death Cap to try and match the damage that Froggen was putting out. And you talked about it earlier, actually, about this, the magic damage inside of that Baron pit. Those wild cards were already hurting, but with the amplification, they shred through you.
Yeah, they did, and because of that, EG got Baron, and now they're going to be able to get, it looks like a tier 2 middle turret here. As all the members of EG are grouped up, they actually might be looking for a fight. I was actually thinking to myself, after that Baron, are Evil Geniuses going to use this to push, or just to be, or use it just to catch up in the game, and just kind of, you know, all right, reset button, we're back even with them, we can afford to trade with them, and now they're heading towards Dragon. They've already picked up one this game so far, they got the wards down. I believe Nif actually still has another Oracle on himself. Yeah. Yes, he does. So it's already 800 gold invested into that, and EG got to pick up this Dragon. But where are they going to go from here?
That's the question. So EG, you know, they go about things differently, and they've already had different game plans when they get in leads here. I mean, we've seen them already, and this is where they picked up victories, and we said, look at this, they're playing that old, you know, CLG slow but steady style to win a game, and that does work for them sometimes. We've seen them also do it pretty quickly as Crepo, who's an absolute hook magnet this game. I think he's been hooked pretty much every single time that Nif has been anywhere near him. But EG are trying to push this advantage that they've now got back.
If you think back to Moscow in week number 2, when they were playing against Lemon Dogs, same thing happened. They stole away a Baron, were able to turn it around, but then obviously they threw it a little bit later as Lemon Dogs were able to take a Baron off of them. And right now, look how low that turret got off of just 1 or 2 seconds of being attacked. They're going to get this turret. You see Kevin off the side. He's trying to go for an engage here, but it's not going to happen.
No, I don't think they can fight him at this stage. I mean, we've just seen big items being picked up after that ace and the Baron. You know, it was a massive swing of gold that EG had. I mean, even before the Baron, they'd got themselves back into the leading gold. So that just shows you how it is on that front. Right now, they are working themselves back. So it looks like they could possibly be done with the offensive for now.
So a lot of damage done, taking almost the middle turret as well, so taking that bottom inner, and also a lot of gold. I mean, just everything. I mean, EG could not have wished for anything better than that. Well, maybe winning off the back of that Baron right away, but now we're probably going to settle into a little bit of a lull in the game, and it's all going to be about strategizing here, like who gets better control of the map with all these wards, who can potentially pick someone off, and Froggen, who is now level 17, 2 levels ahead of Ocelot, has even a CS advantage now. He's going to be a threat in terms of split pushing, where I have to say, though, I think Ocelot still could 1v1 him if he lands everything onto him, but the Zhonya's is really going to be tough to deal with. Yeah,
that DFG, of course, is one big thing in that one. The Zhonya's may be able to save his bacon. We'll have to see about that if they end up really matching up. But, Froggen, we've already seen how he likes to use that Destiny, being pushed on one side of the map. All of a sudden, he's at the top taking a turret with Wicked, thanks to that one. And he is going to be setting that split push up here. So he's going to instantly become a nuisance that SK Gaming have to deal with. And they have no teleport on their team. They've got no global presence when it comes to that kind of thing. It's going to be hard to deal with that.
And we're going to see how SK goes about it. I mean, it's very hard to deal with split push. And I remember when we were talking to Fnatic about it last split, and they were saying, or we were asking them, how do you counter a split put or split push? How do you stop it? And they said, well, split pushing yourself. And the thing is, they don't have, like you said, anyone to do it. They don't have anyone to get back to the team quick enough to make it happen. So SK, if anything, they might try to force a fight if they see Froggen off by himself. They're just trying to get the lanes pushed, though. As you see, Kevin heads top, tries to get the weight stacked up, begin to push out. Bottom's already pushing, so they're going to get that turret, relatively soon.
EG holding that mid ground, and that last Baron was one of opportunity for them. It's certainly one that whilst they were behind in gold before that fight, they weren't factoring into their game at that stage of things. But the next one should be a different story for them. We should be seeing Evil Geniuses really challenging to take down that next Baron once it does come up into play. I mean, it's 9-6 right now, not a massive amount of kills on the board as a whole. But I think this game could get a lot more explosive very quickly.
I definitely have to agree, and we're going to see SK, they're bringing the fight to EG right now. They feel confident. They know Froggen's bottom, who's already heading up towards being able to make this fight happen. He has a Zhonya's, so he could pull Messiah if he wants to. But Evil Geniuses, I don't know, just over the past couple weeks have seemed very hesitant to fight unless they know for a fact they're going to win.
Oh, he's going to do it. He's pulled the yellow card there. He's going to come into this one by the looks of things. And maybe getting a tad overexcited about that one.
Don't worry, I was excited too.
It's like as soon as you see him picking the cards, you're like, he's going to do this one. Or not just yet. So yeah, he decides not to pop the Destiny. And honestly, why? Because look at that bottom lane. It's starting to push right up there. In the end, he's actually just going to be backing away from that one, and it really does end a little bit anticlimactic. You're just going to be spending up what they've got. There's a minute now till Baron.
So both teams know. They're like, all right, we're going to set, we're going to get prepared for this. And we see also going for the blue. We see Nif, I believe he has another Oracle in his pocket, so he's going to have that to clear the vision. And it's pretty much a race. Who can get there quicker? Who can control the vision a little bit faster? And at this point, it looks like, I don't even know which team, because they're both heading off in different directions. They're both grouped up. Baron, 30 seconds now. I'm honestly not sure if they're even going to try to fight for Baron. I mean, SK, after that, like, do you really want to go back to Baron and potentially have the same thing happen again?
I think it was a skewed fight because, they were low anyway. They were low after that. By the time EG actually got there to fight them, they were low anyway. But the thing is that it wasn't a true representation of how a 5v5 would be going right now. So I think both teams, the real point is, they're not quite sure at this stage how that will actually be working out for them.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. I mean, you saw the hesitation on Evil Geniuses when they had the Baron to fight. You saw them have the hesitation when they were middle just now. So that's only going to continue on as SK does get vision control of Baron here. And if you notice, actually, they're actually going to go in here. I'm a little bit surprised by this, but Hercubot should be able to escape with that Lantern. And now they're going to get the hook. Oh!
Crepo missing his ultimate there. Now we see Nif actually going in. The Boxer's going to go down. They're actually focusing Yellow Pete right out of the fight here. He is a dead man. No AD carry in for this one. Ocelot will go down. Where's the next focus here? True Shot Barrage is going to go straight down the middle of them. Hercubot losing a lot of health, and it looks like Wicked has made the call to keep going for this one. Can they get onto Hercubot? No. Snoopy's burning from the Ignite as well. He's going to die to Kevin in the end, but Froggen is still doing a lot of damage here. He's going to pick up the kill on towards Nif. And right now that is a 2 for 2. Well, look at the health bars flashing all over the place. Froggen and Wiki can use his time to push.
And they're going to get this turret as well. And the thing was, Evil Geniuses killed the Oracle that was on SK's side. SK committed so much to kill Yellow Pete, but in the end, Froggen's like, all right, I have 291 farm. I have a lot of damage. I have a DFG. I have a Lich Bane. And they didn't even touch him, didn't have to use his Zonias, and he just cleaned up house right there.
Yeah. And that's the dangerous thing about focus, you know? I mean, you can go for the AD carry, as in a lot of situations you definitely should, but it doesn't mean that no one else is going to be damaging you through that one. And Froggen showing that he is putting out a lot of damage right now. Another Dragon going to be going over here to Evil Geniuses. That will put them 51.7 to 46,000 gold in the lead. A big swing from just 10 minutes ago in this game. Froggen now finally pushing out this bottom wave as well. Obviously, it's not the ideal position for him to be in as Twisted Fate. That bottom lane now split pushing because it's not in range of his destiny to get straight into the fight. He's going to have some walking time.
I'm thinking that if he does go bottom and push, he's going to pretty much let SK start Baron and then try to get the inhibitor turret. And if they don't back away, Geniuses can 4-man Baron because they have the Renekton ultimate and the Nasus ultimate. So it's always a possibility, but you're calling it right. He's sticky middle. He doesn't want to like let an opportunity slip because you saw how fast Yellow Pete died. If that happens to anyone on the team for Evil Geniuses, even if Froggen does finally come in, if they don't punish SK and kill Asa, which they did right off the bat in that fight, you know, they pretty much traded AD carry for AP middle, then EG will lose the fight. But now, they're just rushing at middle, Twisted Fate ultimate coming in, he's going to go bottom.
Yeah, he's going to go bottom from this one. It makes sense. SK are nowhere near this one. They may be able to take down an inhib turret from this one. In fact, they're going to have the turret. I'm pretty sure about that one. As Wicked is in there. And, well, I've been wrong about that one before, and I'll be wrong about it again. Evil Genius has decided they've not quite got the jump here on SK. They backed away from it. But will they try and squeeze them under the turret? And it doesn't look like it. They're going to back off. They don't want to make a mistake here.
See, this is something, because I know we're going to have a little bit of a lull here, it reminds me of what we talked about quite a bit, about the new teams that came into LCS show, how they play like there's no tomorrow. Like, this isn't LCS to them. This is just a normal swim for them, because they play as aggressive as they normally would in a scrim. They don't play extra defensive, but to me, the older teams like SK, Evil Geniuses, Fnatic are playing more reserved. They're not playing as aggressive, and you saw right there where EG, they had the control of the inhibitor turret. They had the inhibitor turret going down so fast, but they backed away. They played defensive, they hesitated a little bit, and to me, I don't know if that's maybe a change that needs to happen within EG, or them just like trying to play really defensive, try to definitely get this win, because they know if you lose this, you're rooted to 8.
There was a hook over the wall from Nif. Didn't quite get anyone, but the charm will land. It's on Wicked, though. He's not really the target that they're looking for. Iceborne Gauntlet now with Candy Panda starting to do some good work as he gets slowed from Twitch and from the Wither as well. And look at this, Nif is looking for a hook. AG just managing to disperse there, doesn't connect onto any of them, and it's going to be a bit of back and forth.
And look at this, this is like their time to fight. I mean, you have Kevin going for his zonage right now, and when he gets that, he'll be able to engage, and you won't be able to kill him, because obviously he'll be able to pop it, stay alive. He's level 17, almost 18, and they had the hook down. They probably could have went for a full-on engage. You have the engage comp with Krepo. He's going to land that ultimate. You're going to be able to lock someone down, but they realize the carries, the Ocelot, the Candy Panda, how are you going to catch them? Because they're so mobile, they're so hard to lock down, and instead Evil Geniuses are going to be like, you know what, maybe not go for a fight, maybe we're going to go for some split pushing here, get an inhibitor down, and then they can finally start to, you know, push for some more objectives like Baron.
I think that was a wise choice there as well from SK. They started to back away, realizing that that wave was pushing bottom lane. EG's in position to pretty much take this inhibitor turret because SK's nowhere in position. Yeah, they're nowhere near it whatsoever. They'd headed off towards Baron. They're all going to have to recall from this one. Will EG have the decisiveness to actually stay around for this one? It's going to go down very quickly, and there is the Indian turret. EG, though, backing straight out of that one.
His ulti has commenced. They know where everyone is. Kevin, we actually might look for engage with the Ocelot ultimate.
The charm didn't actually land, but Kevin going to be bouncing around in the middle of the team. Ezreal not quite there to offer the backup. Snoopy is going very low from this one. Where's the finisher onto him? He's ticking away from the ignite, but he's still alive, crucially. And now Evil Genius has turned it back. SK decide to back away themselves. Hercule bot was down, must have been to single digits in health there. And that will be no kills being for either side.
How does that happen?
In fact, I think every single ultimate is now on cooldown as well, but nobody died. That just shows you the caution of both teams here.
I'm so confused because Hercubot got so low. He was in the back line of Evil Genius' Snoopy. He was pretty much pushing out Ocelot as much as he could with his face. He was like, you know, just get away. He wasn't using abilities on him, and Ocelot did. He just backed away, didn't bother attacking him anymore, and no one going down from that? I'm amazed, but still, UG got the advantage. They got the inhibitor turret down. That means Froggen, he can go for the back door if he wants to. And SK, they need to make a decisive decision. Either let that inhibitor go and take Baron, or they're going to force a fight.
I don't think they know themselves at this point what they're going to do. That's half of the problem in this game. Balance on a knife edge. And, well, the edge is pretty big. I mean, 7,000 gold is what EG are leading with right now as the hook comes through. This time, Crepo is not going to be pulled in from it.
See, SK, they're really dependent on catching someone out so much. Like, they've been hiding in bushes constantly. They've been trying to land a hook, but they're a little bit more hesitant to have Kevin lead the initiate. As you saw in that last fight, it was very close. But considering they're down 7,000 gold or 6,000 gold, they still have that fight pretty damn even. So, I don't know, SK's relying on that a little bit too much, in my opinion. And we're going to see Evil Geniuses just kind of push up lanes a little bit. I think Froggen's going back bottom again. There's no point not to push Inhibitor down. SK setting up for another push again. They're set for, another gank.
Well, right now, Kevin has gone back towards the middle. EG have turned towards Baron. Crepo's going to say, no wards here. Let's ward the backside. Nif actually saw that one coming down. And EG has sat in the death bush. I don't see SK face checking that or going anywhere near it at this point of the game.
Luckily for SK, though, their bot lane is pushing. So, like last time when they went for Baron, the EG's lane was pushing against them so they could just run up there and take the freeze turret. But now SK, with EG out of position, they're just going to rush down this middle. And they actually might be able to get the inhibitor turret.
They're going through for this one. What are EG going to do? They pink to come back for this one. SK are committed to it. Here we go. Yellow Pete is going to go stealth.
Kevin's off on the side.
Kevin is going to be charging his jump up, but decides against it. They're not going to push him from that one. Wicked, though, is right at the front line. They're going to land the charm on towards Snoopy. He's down to half HP already, as there's the ultimate coming out. They dive in on towards Ocelot, and he's going very low. Finished off in the end by Crepo. Candy Panda actually going to use his cleanse there at the back. There's the ultimate coming out from Froggen. They're going to finish off Kevin here before he can get back to life. And right now, that is a 2-for-0. Here comes Froggen from the side. Not quite in range to get the stun down, but he may be able to chase Hercubot, who himself, just the presence of him, I think, scared Froggen from really going in when he's at half health.
And a 2-for-0, and that was, I have to say, I don't know, SK was between a rock and a hard place, between a 5-man team of Evil Geniuses and an inhibitor turret, so they're kind of stuck there, but EG coming ahead with that gold lead, getting 2 kills, and they have Baron to potentially take, they have Dragon up, which looks like Hercubot's just going to run right by, and we do have a turret going down. Was that bottom? Yeah, that was bottom turret going down for EG.
Yeah, finally, that outer turret that survived 40 minutes into this game. And I hate to say it, but we said it earlier, it's going to take some teams to come back in this one, and EG have to hold on, which is exactly what they're going to do. We see right now, Baron being started by Yellow Pete and Froggen. There's a ward there, though. They're completely envisioned, and now we see Nif and Hercubot coming around. Hercubot had his flash, had his smite available, and as he walks in there, he sees Baron starts to reset. And the rest of the team's coming around. There's a true shot barrage just to stop them all from recalling, almost catching Froggen out. SK are actually doing it. They didn't ward here. They're all backing off from this, and SK are doing it.
We do have Crepo coming in from the back, so is Yellow Pete, so is Wicked head up from bottom, who is out of position here, but this is going to be a very tense moment. Yellow Pete's already below half-life because he was tanking Baron a little bit earlier, and SK can just turn on them and probably win the fight here.
Froggen doesn't have Destiny either right now. He needs to wait for this one, as we are going to see the ultimate coming in from Leona. They're still focusing Baron, and SK managed to pick up the Baron. Can they get the kills with it as well? Ocelot focused in, forced out of the fight by Wicked. Kevin bouncing around as Snoopy is going to get hooked up. There's the death for Crepo.
Oh.
Snoopy here going very low. Froggen on the outside of things is still doing a lot of damage. A great Zhonya's, but that's not going to stop Froggen racking these ones up. It's now all on Nif. Are they going to flash over? Now Destiny is going to come in. That's a triple kill. Exploded there is Ocelot, and now Nif being chased down here. He's the last man left alive for SK. Not quite got the range there on the wild cards, but EG, they give up Baron, but they managed to pick up kills again.
And the only member left with it on the SK side was Nif on Thresh, so it's not really going to mean too much. Now they're going to push middle. Are they going to go for this inhibitor or just go for the inhibitor? It looks like they will try to take that down, and with that gone, that means a lot of pressure over towards the bottom side for the map for SK, and EG can just sit top lane and just pretty much siege away as long as they want.
Nasus against buildings. Not something that the building usually comes out alive from. So we are going to see the hook landing there onto Wicked. Nif doing his best here to try and hold them off, but EG have got that inhibitor down. That's something else to add to them. There's a lot of minions on that top wave, but that'll be nicely picked up by Yellow Pete. He'll enjoy killing that big wave off once he actually gets there. EG going to be sailing blue buffs away now as well from Ocelot.
I was just thinking back to that last fight, and you saw Candy Panda, even with the cleanse, he got destroyed by Froggen. He pretty much I think almost one comboed him there in the end, and we already see over on Yellow Pete's side. I mentioned that because Yellow Pete already has a QSS. Like, he's trying to get out of any CC in terms of the charm on Ocelot or the magic damage, because Ocelot was so strong earlier on. But now Ocelot, who hasn't really been able to pick up any kills anymore, they've pretty much just gone on to Candy Panda and onto Kevin. So the QSS, he can just leave it there for quite a long time, probably build up a Blade of the Rune King, and he's going to be doing a lot of damage if he can just sit back and get a spray and pray, which currently he should be able to, because Kevin's the only one to really be able to dive into the backline against him.
An insanely close game here between SK and Evil Geniuses, two teams that are right now in 7th and 8th position in the European LCS Summer Split. One of them is going to be rooted to the bottom alone after this game. The winner will push themselves into that 7th place. And right now, super tight. We're seeing Barons being picked up by one team, the other team coming in and almost acing them. We saw a turnaround earlier on from Evil Geniuses. This game has had everything so far.
And as the game's going on, items are being pretty much complete. I guess we can touch on that real quickly, since it looks like SK is finally moving out of their base, but we have the double Zonias done now for SK. So we've had Kevin have his for a little bit now. He's been able to dive into the back and just pop it, but Wicked responds with the GA himself, a Spirit Visage. They're going to go for push on this top side as that bottom lane is pushing right now. And keeping a look at items, I mean, Froggen, he has so much AP. He's sitting at 696 wow. AP. And we look over at Snoopy's Q, plus 297, so he's doing a good chunk of damage. That turret's not going to stand. And right now, I mean, EG are pretty much winning in items, but the longer this game goes on, the quicker SK's going to catch up. And also, even though he hasn't really been picking up any kills lately, he still has a lot of damage behind him.
Yeah, he's still very strong. There's no doubt about that one, but you've got to be doing the damage in the fights. If you forced out early on, as we saw in that last one with Wiki just completely forcing him off to the north, and it doesn't matter if you've got 5 AP or 5 million, because you're not doing any damage with it at the end of the day. So let's see if they can get in on that one. Is actually Nif going to get stunned up there? Wicked actually going a little bit too far. He's going to get hooked in. The box comes down. Are they going to be able to finish him off? There is a lantern coming out. That's a good little bit of defense work from SK. Wicked just edging a little bit too far out.
And that might have just ruined them in terms of just pushing that top lane and just waiting for the bot lane to push, because Superman's just got there, but now they're too low to really deal with it. And Wicked, you have to go back and heal. He still has his J available, but that Maw of the Malmortis able to save him pretty much with that extra shield he got off of it. And now SK is going to clean up, probably try to push bottom out a little bit further before EG gets back around to start pushing again. And the thing is, if Evil Jesus hits your turret once with Froggen, like, that thing's going to drop to a good, third life, but then you have Snoopy hitting it with a Q. Turrets aren't going to last that long. Billions are not going to last long at all, and you have to basically look at that point and say, hey, are we going to force a fight here, or are we going to let them take something for free? And SK, I think they're going to be the ones to fight it.
One wrong step like that, though,
exactly,
that we just saw, can be game. It's 45 minutes long now we're into this game. And if you lose, Wicked, who has got a lot of damage in there, is pretty damn tanky. If you lose a man like that, and the rest of the team say, okay, we need to protect him, then they ended up getting aced in that scenario, then you lose the game right there and then.
And I like how you pointed out Wicked right there, because obviously it just happened, but the thing is, you pointed out something earlier, he's been the one zoning out Ocelot. He's been the one trying to keep him away from the rest of the team, and if he's the one that dies, Snoopy's the only one to do it. That means they can all kill him, and then the backline of EG will just fall over. So, yeah, exactly. I mean, it could be a squishy, it could be a support, it could be a tank. Doesn't matter who it is. If one person dies, you're not going to have a good chance in that fight.
Well, right now, Evil Geniuses remain on the cautious side. Froggen trying to force this super minion wave through here. Not too much more for him to be involved in, so why not keep going for that? I think just wait until maybe Kevin stepped a little bit too far out from there. I mean, he's got a Zhonya's of his own. He's got good magic with this, plenty of health in there as well. So not sure if Froggen going to be able to really finish him off on that, but certainly not something that Kevin is going to want to risk poking himself out of that base too far. You've got complete control right now of the SK jungle as well, which is a great thing for them when it comes to the next point of Baron, because I don't think this game is going without at least one more Baron.
And not to mention, about 27 minutes ago, SK had complete control of their own jungle, so just one missed up at Baron can completely turn the game around for you. And Inhibitor is going to respawn here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see EG maybe try to go for it and knock it down again. But then again, they have 50 seconds on Baron. They have to be very careful with their next move, or they could pretty much just lose the game and SK come out victorious after their first initial throw at that Baron.
Well, the good thing for EG, I think, is that if they go for that inhib, SK can't go for Baron, because as soon as EG realized that, they just pushed straight through and beat them right there and then. So, they've got to weigh up their options right now, SK Gaming. How far can they challenge when it comes to this next Baron? How much can they, push these lanes out without becoming out of position and risk being caught out by Froggen? And they need some vision down, and that's what they're trying to currently do right now. They've pushed up a little bit in the middle lane. That top lane has started to push out as well, and they're trying to get some wards down and clear out from EG's wards.
And if EG are going to go for Baron here, when it comes up in about 2 seconds, they only have one more wave of super minions at bottom. So once that's cleared out, which Kevin was already starting to head towards, then they could just rush that Baron down, and SK realizing that, they're already heading over there trying to ward it up, and Kevin's still not really here to help out. That wave's going to keep pushing, and if EG keep them lowered away, that inhibitor will go down to that super minion.
Blue S-Rail build causing a few problems at this point as well. Very good damage that it's bringing in. Circubot going to get withered up here. Annoyance that is that building slow coming in. But right now, it's a bit of positional play from both teams. There's the True Shot Barrage going to be trying to finish off what's left up in that top side of things. And EG will quite happily let that one push through, because with those super minions going in there, eventually that could actually go down.
And super minions already attacking, another wave's already coming in. They don't have an ability to clear it anymore with that Ezreal ultimate being down, and just like I said, EG just happy keeping them there, and when they do back up to go for it, they're just going to rush that Baron, and they have the Oracle on the Froggen. Nif doesn't have when it's over on the Hercubot, but when EG get control, oh man, if Ocelot goes here, that's a definite, like, hey, go for it right now. We can easily take it. We can win a fight if we force it, because you do have, obviously, Cripple to start the fight off.
Yep, and we are going to see Evil Genius is actually doing that one as Hercubot getting himself caught out. There's a Zenith blade, actually. Crepo is going to go in for it. The box is down. Nif will be the man that dies. Froggen now legendary from this one. SK have managed to stop the Baron attempt for now. Ocelot has come back down, but look at Nif's spawn timer. 1 minute, he's out of this fight. This is going to be a 5v4 for a long time.
Candypan is the only man to really stop it. We did see NAP obviously steal it with a Shuriken away from Gambit, but I'm not sure if SK can stop it here. We do have double AP, though, with the magic debuff that comes with Baron. They do take it for free. The bottom wave is still pushing up, but that inhibitor will stay alive, and EG, they're trying to chase this down.
Yeah, Wicked going in there. Cleanse going to be used by Candy Panda. Can he actually escape, though? He's got the Wither on him here. Arcane Shift will get him a little bit further out of reach, but EG, they still have 30 seconds here until Nif comes back into play. They can at least get that inhibitor from this.
At least, definitely. I mean, they should be able to even take this inhibitor right here, take down the middle one. On top of that, they gotta be a little bit careful still. I mean, because also it has a lot of damage. His ultimate obviously is down, but he has a DFG available. They have double Zonia still to use here. And looks like Evil Genius is just to take the safe route, go for that bottom inhibitor first, and then maybe rotate around or go home by and then push again.
Well, there is that inhibitor going down. Now, Nif coming up in just a couple of seconds. We'll be back to a 5-on-5 scenario. Are they gonna get in there? Wow. Candy Panda pretty much losing half of his HP there just from those wild cards coming in. And we are going to see the hook coming through the wall. Doesn't quite land on anyone. EG still need to be wary here of what SK can throw. And the charm not going to be landing in. There's more wild cards on towards Candy Panda. We can't afford to stay that low anywhere near the front line as he Arcane shifts away from another set of wild cards. But EG looking to focus down. As you said, the turrets don't last long. With that Q coming out of Nasus, with the Lich Bane in there on Froggen, with all that AP, they're not going to last long once EG finally are able to get in there to do it.
And when EG decides to back away, they have 1,500 gold to spend on pretty much every member, but they're not giving up just yet. We see Twisted Fate actually pop the ultimate and going to the back on the Candy Panda.
Straight into the back here, and they're going to keep going from this one. Ultimate's flying left, right, and center as Froggen going to be followed in here by Ocelot, who will get that kill. Right now, it is a 1-for-1, but Kevin is very low. Ocelot going to be trapped in. He's withered as he puts the damage onto Crepo, uses that Zhonya's, but it's only going to keep him alive till he comes back up. Now, Nif and Hercubot are the last two men alive here to save things for SK Gaming, and are they going to be able to hold on to it? Kevin is now back to life. They've managed to hook Wicked in. He's taking hits from the turret right now. He's full of armor though, and he's taking them down. Snoopy comes in from that backside, and they manage a third kill here, and this should be a turret.
And wow, Wicked's still able to keep his GA alive. I went back and looked at what happened to Candy Panda, and oh man, he one-shot him completely with DFG, with his wild cards, with his auto attack, and his picker card. He blew him up, and Candy Panda wasn't even that far away from his team. He was just like on another side of a tree, and yet he got blown up that quickly. Froggen wasn't able to stay alive as long as he wanted to, but that's 2 inhibitors. That means Evil Geniuses are in the driver's seat. They have Baron Cup in about 2 minutes. Actually, sorry, almost 3 minutes when that Baron buff does run down, but they're going to take away Dragon. They're going to come back with a lot of gold as well. Froggenson at 2,200, 2,000 even onto Yellow Pete right now, and Wicked on 2,600, and he's basically full built.
Incredible game here that I've got a feeling still has something incredible to show us. I don't think that this is quite as clear-cut as it's looking to be. We think back to how it was going around about 20 minutes into the game. SK Gaming had the gold lead, they had the kill lead by a good margin here, and then they got aced at Baron, lost the Baron, and right now they are on the back foot, 11,000 gold behind. And it's going to be a hard one to turn around, there's no doubt about that one, but I think if things go right for them in a team fight, if the positioning's right, if they make sure that Froggen doesn't nuke down their AD carry before things even get started, that they still have a chance here with this game.
Oh, definitely. It's 53 minutes in. I mean, both teams are pretty equal at items overall. It just comes down to who can get the better engage, and obviously off the back of that one, EG was the one to do that. They were able to catch Candy Panda out. The cleanse wasn't enough to save him, and Candy Panda actually went for Hex Shrieker, so he's hoping to survive the burst this time. But with 2 inhibitors down, the chances of coming back from that are very hard. And Evil Genius is in the driver's seat right now. SK, they have to pull something big, and like you said before, there's still something extra that we can tell that's going to happen, and I think it might be SK pulling out a big team fight.
Well, if you're an SK fan, you certainly hope so at this point. After having that lead and seeing it go away, I think the worst losses to stomach out of everything else is, you know, having a lead, having a bad fight, then losing a big objective, and then the game going to your opponents by the end of it. Right now, Evil Geniuses are in the SK jungle, getting some wards back down that they lost a little earlier on. And they're trying to push in onto this third and final inhibitor now on this top side.
And now we're going to see how patient EG is here. Because obviously with 2 inhibitors down, they're going to be pushing up. They don't need to fight anytime soon. And the thing is, when Ocelot or Candy Panda goes back to defend the Nexus turrets, I wonder if Froggen might try to go into the back line again and try to one-shot someone. It's always a possibility, but I think in this situation it's even more dangerous. And they're clearing out every ward they possibly can. Also still trying to push lanes out here, and they should be able to siege turret down just a little bit, because Froggen, Lichbane, he's going to knock it down to half health with like 1 auto attack. And SK, they're looking for a hook, but onto the right target. They need to be able to hit Yellow Pete or be able to hit Froggen here.
They're being strangled here, SK. They're losing the Nexus turrets. The inhibitor turret goes down to half HP, but SK are going to go for the fight. Kevin going to bounce in on the back line. Ocelot going very, very low. He will end up dying from this one. Wicked is just about surviving in there. Here comes the Destiny. He's going to go straight for Candy Panda. DFG, double kill for Froggen there at the end. And this is going to be Evil Geniuses turning around the game and taking down SK Gaming.
Just wow at the end right there.